TomoNews presents Donkeys.
Car smuggling donkeys get busted. South African cops have nabbed 4 donkeys trying to smuggle a jacked car near the border with Zimbabwe. Police say thieves were using the vehicular mules to smuggle a stolen Mercedes-Benz across the dry Limpopo River. The river's name means strong, gushing waterfalls, and it flows through Botswana, Mozambique, and South Africa. The thieves' non-traditional Grand Theft Auto venture quickly turned to ash when the animals became tired. Next, the cops made their move, but the suspects hauled ass into a forest on the Zimbabwe side of the border. So why didn't they just drive the car? Well, the BBC reports that this might be due to the fact that most modern cars are fitted with an engine-activated tracker. There's no word on the donkey's current whereabouts, but they're definitely looking at a long time in the pen.
Last chance to adopt a donkey from Hawaii. The last 50 wild donkeys on Hawaii's Big Island are up for adoption. Many decades ago, more than 500 donkeys were set loose after fulfilling their services in the coffee and agricultural plantations on Hawaii's Big Island. The donkeys became a problem after droughts forced them into residential areas in search of water. Some even drank from swimming pools. Donkeys are highly social animals. A lone donkey can become upset and can bray very loudly. Thus, donkeys are ideally adopted in pairs. They will undergo health checks and males will be castrated before being handed over to adopters. Ideally, adopters should provide half an acre of land for each donkey, which is about the size of 8 tennis courts. This should come with a shelter and fencing. The donkeys also require a high-fiber diet, water, electricity, regular grooming, and veterinary care. 450 donkeys have already been adopted over the past 6 years, with 120 of them adopted in California. Authorities said about 80% of the remaining donkeys have found potential homes.
Police officer takes donkey for a ride in the back of a cruiser. The back of a police cruiser is usually reserved for the bad guys, but for Oklahoma officer Kyle Kanon, it was reserved for a special guest. After receiving a call from a concerned citizen in a 50-mile-per-hour zone in Norman, Oklahoma, Officer Kanon arrived on the scene and found the poor little guy, Squishy, wandering in the middle of the street. He quickly guided Squishy to the back of the cruiser. The back window was even rolled down so Squishy could enjoy the ride. With the help of the Good Samaritan, Robin, they safely relocated Squishy. If Squishy's owner doesn't turn up to take him back, Squishy will get to enjoy a new loving home with Robin. If that's the case, we can already foresee the happily ever after. Donkey photographed grinning after being saved from flood. A nasty flood in Killarglen, Ireland almost drowned this poor donkey. But luckily, Mike Fleming answered the call for help. When the donkey became stranded in rising floodwaters, the donkey's owner sounded the alarm for someone to help. Animal Heaven Animal Rescue then began reaching out to anyone with a boat and a brave heart. The Animal Rescue got rowing club member Mike Fleming on the phone, and without hesitation, he volunteered his rowboat and a team set sail. When they found the lone donkey, wet and probably freezing, the team got out some rope and a lifesaver. Then they laid the flotation device around the donkey's neck and gently pulled it to safety. Once they made it to shore, the rescuers say the donkey expressed a huge relief. Predictably, he couldn't be happier to be alive. And if you look closely, is that a smile? Think it is! Safe and sound, the donkey has since warmed up and been given a name. The lucky guy will forever be known as Mike, after the hero who had the guts and compassion to help save a donkey in need.
A Hungarian man has died after being severely mauled in what looks to be a horrific donkey attack in a sleepy hamlet. 65-year-old retired firefighter Sandor Horvath was visiting a friend at his farm. No one witnessed an attack, but it appears 2 donkeys owned by the farmer took a dislike to Horvath, possibly feeling threatened. Police say he was chased and pulled from his mobility scooter before being bitten and trampled. The donkey duo apparently dragged Horvath 50 meters, leaving him with such horrific injuries that the people who found him thought he'd been killed by wolves. The farmer's daughter had previously worried about how aggressive the animals had become, but the farmer dismissed her concerns. After being made into burgers, dressed in silly outfits, and generally maligned, is this a case of donkey revenge? In any case, the two animals are set to be put down.
Donkey basketball fundraiser attracting scorn for animal cruelty. Ever heard of donkey basketball? Yes, it's a thing, has been since the 1930s, and it's as stupid as it sounds. Yet people still play, even to this day. Now, a concerned group in Pennsylvania is trying to put a stop to it in their community. Donkey basketball is played as you might expect. 5 human players on each team and 4 donkeys, the center forwards on his own. The object of the game is to score the basketball as you normally would, just while riding a donkey. Your average donkey can carry about 100 pounds on its back, and with most participants exceeding that weight, it's probably not a fun exercise for the donkey. The game is played on a standard indoor basketball court, usually in high school gymnasiums, but donkey hoops aren't really designed for running around on such slick surfaces. By the end of the match, the money raised for whatever fundraiser the game was played for is split between the hosting school and the donkey ball company. The losers, of course, are unquestionably the donkeys, who are tethered to individual players and pulled by ropes throughout the game, often collapsing from exhaustion. If you're wondering how this is still a thing, you're not the only one. A donkey basketball game is set to be played at the Wyalusing Valley Junior-Senior High School on April 6th in Pennsylvania. A petition urging state representatives and school board officials to cancel the event, as well as a statewide ban of the sport altogether, is underway. So who's the real ass in this outdated game? The donkey or the guy trying to play basketball while riding on his back?